This video will focus on games about thieves, mostly simulators in which thieves and robbers are the main characters. Both realistic games from the first and third person are presented, as well as all kinds of adventure fantasy projects, such as the legendary Thieves series, which tells about the adventures of an experienced lone thief Gareth. Thief Simulator is a new word in the thief games genre, the most realistic and exciting, fully 3D and authentic thief simulator released on personal computers in 2018. This is the best first-person city thief simulator, the gameplay of which includes all the actions of thieves and robbers. To begin with, you will have to carefully study the potential object of robbery, a private house, collect as much useful information about it as possible, walk by inadvertently around the area, chat with neighbors, poke at the house through binoculars. Further, when the object of the robbery is predetermined and carefully studied from all sides, the second phase begins, the phase of the active robbery. It consists of secretive and silent penetration into the chosen house under the cover of night, and the prompt removal of all valuables from it. Perhaps this is the most dangerous and exciting moment in any robbery. After that comes the third stage, the final one. It consists of a profitable and discreet sale of all stolen valuables. After the house is robbed and all the stolen things are profitably sold, it remains only to use the profits wisely, acquiring new, more advanced thieving equipment to commit even larger, more daring, and accordingly, more profitable robberies. In addition, in between robberies, the player can upgrade his virtual bandit, giving him access to new thieving skills, active and passive abilities. That is, besides the fact that Thief Simulator is a very realistic simulator, it is also in some way a role-playing game, and also a sandbox, because robberies take place in the open world in different ways. In addition, the player himself chooses the object for the robbery. Thief Simulator VR, an advanced version of the game described above, which is a realistic thief simulator for PC with support for virtual reality devices. This game was released on personal computers in 2019. That is, a year after the original Thief Simulator appeared without the support of virtual reality devices. Thieves series, the famous series of stealth action games with an element of immersion simulator, the hero of which is a real fantasy thief named Gareth. In 2014, the series was relaunched with modern graphics, a new storyline, and a bunch of other nice innovations. The gameplay in Thief 2014 is great, but the game story is just as beautiful. The hero is the so-called Master Thief Gareth, who, with his apprentice and faithful partner, receives an important task: to steal a certain mysterious stone from a well-guarded castle. They immediately get down to business, thinking that they are waiting for another easy walk on the roofs of the city. But it was not there. The case takes a dangerous turn as they find the owner himself, Northcrest, together with his henchmen, performing a dangerous ritual in the castle, trying to release the energy of the stone. The hero, suspecting something was wrong, decides to leave as soon as possible before trouble happens. But his partner turns out to be more stubborn and purposeful. For this reason, she decides not to miss the prey and stays. But suddenly the glass roof cracks and crumbles. Gareth's girlfriend falls down, and he barely has time to grab her arm. At this moment, a crushing explosion is heard, the building collapses, and the main adventure of the thief Gareth begins directly under the control of the player. In general, an excellent toy about theft, pleasing with an intricate, rich plot and the atmosphere of a gloomy night city, the setting of which is a cross between magical fantasy and steampunk. Payday Series. At one time, a very popular series of cooperative games about robberies is a topic very related to ours, so it may be of interest to those who are looking for games about thieves. The first part of Payday was released on PC in 2011, becoming an innovative first-person shooter in which the playable character was a hardened criminal who trades in armed robberies of banks and jewelry stores, as well as other financial and private institutions where there is something to profit from. The game offered fast-paced first-person armed raids, often accompanied by 3 other such seekers of easy big money. The main campaign of the first part of Payday includes 6 fantastic and unforgettable robberies in the spirit of Hollywood blockbusters. Moreover, you can go through them not only alone but also in a successfully implemented cooperative mode, which allows you to play simultaneously with a squad of 4 users. All this had endless replay value thanks to a huge number of weapons and a branching tree for each member of the bandit group. By opening access to certain skills, the player formed his own special and unique style of play. In 2013, Payday 2 was released, a shooter about robbers, which raised the series to a fundamentally new, much better level. Until now, Payday 2 remains one of the best online crime-themed shooters, where you have to rob banks and other objects with valuables. Players can choose their own weapons, choose contracts, and put on unique, stylish masks for their characters. It uses dynamic scenarios for each mission. This means that the passage of the same mission will never be the same, because during the passage with a team of robbers, all sorts of different random events will constantly happen. Grand Theft Auto Series. The famous series of crime games about American gangsters, engaged not only in theft on a large scale, but also in armed robbery, theft of elite expensive cars, racketeering, and even contract killings. All in all, this is the most serious and realistic crime simulator, each part of which has its own delightful story and a special setting represented by an open city. The most popular part of the series is Grand Theft Auto V. In addition to a purely single-player story campaign about the adventures of 3 professional robbers, Grand Theft Auto V also features a long-running online mode called Grand Theft Auto Online, which unites millions of players from all over the world. Its action takes place on the territory of a huge open city, where players can freely move around, completing various missions, as well as fight among themselves and do many other interesting things. Very popular and interesting in Grand Theft Auto Online are co-op missions with robberies, of which there are a decently large number in the network game at the moment. But the game catches not only with an abundance of missions with robberies and thefts, but simply with its special atmosphere and unprecedented freedom of action. Nowhere else is it so pleasant to drive an expensive sports car on a busy virtual highway, overtaking other cars and admiring the landscapes spread around. 7. The Days Long Gone. The game is an isometric ARPG with Parker, the hero of which is a professional thief in a fantasy world. Circumstances force the hero to go to a huge prison island in order to complete a number of difficult and very responsible tasks, including stealth thefts that are familiar to him. A feature of the game is a large and well-designed open world with hundreds of different quests and all sorts of secrets. The basis of the world is a typical fantasy, but it also contains elements of some technogenic fantasy, including cyberpunk. The visual style of the game 7 The Days Long Gone is somewhat reminiscent of a Borderlands-style comic, but the camera here is isometric. The action is based on parkour and hand-to-hand combat. There is also an interesting steal system here, which is not surprising, given that so many quests here are tied to all sorts of thefts. The game has a colossal non-linearity inherent in virtually any local quest. There is an advanced crafting system, somewhat similar to the Fallout 4 game, where anything can be disassembled into component resources, and then assembled from them into something more valuable and useful. Leveling in 7. The Days Long Gone is represented by several specializations that can be changed on the go, which is very convenient and interesting. In general, a very interesting and original game with its own lore, a vast world, and a rich plot with an abundance of individual small stories that accompany side quests in 7. The Days Long Gone. It is worth noting the multi-level structure of locations, which is a bit unexpected and unusual, given that the game has an isometric camera. Klepto. A kleptomaniac thief simulator released on PC in 2016. The game was released into early access on Steam, and it has remained there until now. The Klepto game has a first-person view, very poor graphics and poor animation due to the low budget of the game. The protagonist is a thief who terrorizes the entire neighborhood, committing daring burglaries and illegal entry into the territory of someone else's property. The game has an open world in the form of a sandbox, which you can freely explore, choosing houses for subsequent hacking and robbery. The game has support for virtual reality, but at the same time does not require the mandatory presence and connection of one or another VR device. You can also play on a regular personal computer monitor. There is a multiplayer mode in Klepto, which allows you to carry out robberies and thefts in a gang with other players. You can enter into contracts with various criminal organizations and in every possible way increase your reputation and criminal authority among other thieves. Also in Klepto is the original asymmetric cops and robbers mode, in which some players act as thieves, while others act as cops who are trying their best to prevent them from committing a theft. Crookz, the Big Heist. Weird game about thieves working in a 1970s US funk style. The player in Crookz, the Big Heist, is given the opportunity to plan and execute the most stylish thief operations. To do this, you will have to master the art of espionage and quick tactical thinking, which allows you to instantly analyze this or that unexpected situation and make the right decision. Crookz the Big Heist has an exciting single-player campaign, very diverse, because it consists of 18 different levels. All are decorated in the colorful and opulent US style of the late 1970s. There is an opportunity to collect a gang of thieves for yourself, making a choice between a large number of unique characters. In addition to this, the gang can be equipped with various tools and equipment, which opens up access to various tactical options and tricks. Sneak Thief, a first-person stealth action game developed by one person. The modest size of the team was reflected in the quality of the game. The animations are crooked, there are bugs, and the depth of the mechanics does not reach Thief Simulator. However, the game also offers to put on a mask with cutouts for the eyes and go to rob various places. Sneak Thief boasts a large number of levels, from primitive banks to secret laboratories, and each one has a bunch of guards, traps, and of course, jewelry. Thief of Thieves, a story-driven game based on the Thief of Thieves comics by Robert Kirkman, the creator of the Walking Dead universe. The game is similar to the quests of Telltale games, and the story here is more important than the gameplay. You follow the aspiring robber Celia, who decides to conquer new heights in her career and organize high-profile robberies around the world. A defenseless girl will not resort to violence. She has the skills of cunning and social engineering in her inventory. In the process of passing, you will have to make choices that will affect the narrative and relationships with team members. We also note nice comic-style graphics and well-designed characters, but unfortunately, the game was not properly advertised and passed by gamers. Mini Thief, a simple pixel thief simulator, again offering to visit someone else's house and take out all the loot from there. The game is divided into levels. The further you advance, the more attentive the residents become. Mini Thief is not devoid of humor. For example, in the store, you can use the stolen money to buy a cardboard box to hide from the cameras, rubber toys in the form of pieces of meat, and a host of other items that will help turn the case around. The game constantly throws up unexpected situations that will become an obstacle to robbery, and perfectly copes with the role of a thief simulator. You will get from it everything that you expect from such a project. Rubber Bandits, a multiplayer party about thieves and cops. The former are trying to take everything valuable from the level, and the latter are trying to catch the robbers. At the same time, the action takes place in small locations arenas, so there is no question of carefully turning things around, as in Payday. Everyone runs chaotically, objects on the level are destroyed, something constantly explodes and burns, and the characters are dressed up in fancy costumes. And even though this is not a reliable thief simulator, it is an excellent arcade game for family play, which will allow you to take a break from serious games and relax properly. If your favorite game is not included in this list, write in the comments. Thanks for watching. Join this channel to get access to perks. Subscribe, watch our other videos, press thumbs up, turn on notifications, and you will always be aware of what to play today.